wherever you might be in life, wherever your era might be, and you're coming into an ending of that era, or the era has already ended, this video is going to help you learn how to transition and leave, let go, move forward with grace, with confidence, with self-assurance that you are going to thrive in your next chapter, no matter what is happening or no matter where you're going to be. We're going to do something a little different. I'm back in Colorado after almost a year out. All our stuff is still in storage here. Sorry for another day. And I'm going to enjoy the things I love doing in Colorado. And I'm going to take you with me. So if you're ready to come out and explore Colorado with me, let's talk about transitioning. Let's talk about moving forward. Let's talk about change and how to ensure that no matter where you are, you're grounded in you.
One thing I've always loved about Denver and also Boulder, I also lived in Boulder, is that they're very walkable cities and they have coffee shops in like every freaking corner, which is my favorite thing in the world. So right now we're heading to a fun coffee shop. And while we head to the fun coffee shop, I want to tell you about the first tip that I recommend when you are moving into this next phase in life. Something that we all do anytime there is an end of an era. It's reflecting on the era in a very bright light, in a way that you feel like you might not ever see something that good, and you completely forgot all the bad times you had in that era. Or all the growth is what I like to see. That is why it's really important to understand this very key concept when you're in any type of moving, transition, end of an era. It always gets harder to leave the closer you get to the end. And when you understand that, when you understand you might have a lot of graduation goggles going on, you might feel a lot of nostalgia, you're going to know in your heart that this is just part of the process. I've moved over 20 times. I've had a ton of transitions in my life. And it always is at that end peak where I'm like, is this the right move? I'm not sure. Like, I'm really scared, or I'm going to miss this place a lot, or it was so beautiful, even though it was like super toxic, you know? So things like that happen all the time because you're just closer to the end. And when you understand that, and when you let yourself just continue moving forward, things start changing and you're in a better place to start your next chapter. We're on our way to get some delicious food with my friend Tori, and I'm so excited to see her. When you're letting things go, or when a chapter is ending, something that you really want to do is really absorb what you loved about that experience, and also maybe what you didn't love about that experience. Learning to slowly understand yourself better, learning to understand what served you and what didn't serve you, and being intentional with that as you go through a transition is so important, so that you don't repeat the same mistakes, so that you look for things that made you really happy, so that the next phase is a lot easier. Understanding that you can cherish the present moment, you can cherish the people that you're with, you can cherish where you're at, and also be called to go, and also be called to something new. I loved all my friends here in Colorado so deeply. I love the mountains, I love the coffee culture, but I also knew that it wasn't in super alignment of my ideal life. It was a stepping stone there. It was a massive transformative time in my life, and even though how much I loved it and I loved so much parts of it, I knew that it wasn't exactly the right fit. And having the courage to leave, even though I have some of my bestest friends here that get me at a soul level, was really difficult, but it was the right thing to do to move forward in my journey and in my path. And also learning how to keep in touch is a big thing whenever you're going through a transition. Is how do you keep in touch when you're no longer in the same place? I'm really great at long distance friendships, long distance family connections, and I think it's because you learn how to make time to connect in different ways. Maybe it's sending postcards, maybe it's snail mail, doing some FaceTime dates, sending each other some fun TikToks. It's also planning trips together. So finding ways to still be connected with people you love without having to keep you in the same place just because you have a group of people that you love so deeply, but you're being called to somewhere else. So that's a really important part when you're moving and transitioning, is also learning how to keep those connections and knowing that they don't need to fade away. Just the relationships are shifting, just the way you hold space for each other shifts, but that doesn't mean the love shifts. The love will always be there. So yeah, let's go see my friends. Tincture.
Yeah.
Mimosa,
Rose, hawthorn, mushroom, reishi, lemon balm, ginger.
I'm gonna get that one.
A
Little fun.
little zinger.
And one thing that has helped me a lot through transitions, I would say it's like three main things. The first one is having faith in a higher power. Maybe that's God, universe, cosmos, whatever it may be. Moving through any transition is not going to be as scary because you know that the higher powers only want what's best for you, and you get to decide what that is by the choices you make and by the faith you have. I know whenever I lean into a transition with like, this is going to be great, this is going to be everything that I've ever wanted, when I lean into that, only good things come from that transition, and I start seeing new opportunities come in, new friendships. It's just a complete shift versus when I've gone through transitions and I feel very fearful, I don't trust it, I'm very attached to the past, and I feel like things are not in my favor. Like, it just kind of spirals, but you know, there's always a lesson in that. And the second thing is, you are so much stronger than you think, and you're so much more capable than you give yourself credit for. And when you go through these transitions and these moves and these ends of an era, it only is going to prove that fact, that truth, that you are strong, that you're capable, that you're courageous, that you can handle things like this. And actually, that's why I kind of love going through transitions. Sometimes I'm like, they're not my favorite all the time, but I will say going through transitions, moving, ending of eras, it really helps you ground yourself in you and helps you give you confidence that you might have not had before. Look back and you're like, oh my God, I did that. I went through that. I changed. I moved. I was scared. I overcame. I didn't know what was going to be in front of me, but I still took the steps forward. Like, when you prove yourself right, when you're so capable and you see yourself overcoming obstacles and overcoming scary things and overcoming the unknown, you start trusting yourself more. And I think that's a beautiful thing when it comes to transition, and something that I lean into to go through transitions with grace and go through ends of eras with grace, is really learning to trust myself. And when I learned to trust myself, saying, no matter what, I'm going to be more than okay, and everything works out for me because of the faith piece, it really makes transitions so much smoother and so much more happier. And it's actually like a fun little challenge where it's like, what can I do? Like, what is this next version of me going to be like? What I will discover in this new era of me? Because whenever you're going through a new move, even if it's just moving an apartment or it's moving a job, it is going to unlock a new layer of yourself that you didn't know, you didn't meet. Then my final points are going to come right after dinner with my friend. And the last thing you need to do whenever you're going through a transition, whenever you're going through an end of an era, is get clear on how you want the next era to be. You have full control, for the most part, on how your mind is going to interpret this next era. So take advantage of that. When you say, I want this era to be this and this and this, because you got clear earlier on what you liked and didn't like about your current reality, your current era, your current transition, your current location, your current partnership, you're able to then move forward so fiercely that life is going to bring you so many abundant opportunities and expansions beyond your wildest dreams. So here is to you. Happy moving, happy transitioning, and get ready for an incredible journey because you deserve it.